So when Kateesha's parents lost their home that had been in their family for 3 generations, to say that had a profound impact on not only her and her family, but also her community, is an understatement. So fellow Rotarians and guests, I am honored to introduce Kateesha Atterberry, founder and managing director of Urban Black, a Seattle-based real estate development company. Kateesha grew up in the Mount Baker neighborhood of Seattle, attended Garfield High School, and the University of Washington. Her first foray into real estate development occurred really by chance, but also by determination. Kateesha had just graduated from high school and was couch surfing with a cousin in Renton, who happened to live across the street from a boutique real estate development firm that had a help wanted sign out front. Kateesha walked in and got herself hired on the spot, and she started learning the business from the ground up. After a stint at Coldwell Banker as a transaction manager, her position was eliminated during the recession, and she was 5 months pregnant. Looking for a place with a daycare, she ended up at Pike Place Market, right as the market was starting its most recent redevelopment. More chance and determination. You can see the rest of her very impressive bio in our bulletin on our website. Kateesha started Urban Black in order to bring economic development to underserved communities. Her company starts with the why and the who, not the what. Her company currently has far more project opportunities than capacity. On a personal level, Kateesha is currently reading Building Social Business, the New Kind of Capitalism That Serves Humanity's Most Pressing Needs by Muhammad Yunus. She lives in the Rainier Valley with her school-age son and daughter. Kateesha told me that she is who she builds for, and she lives where she builds. So please give a warm Bellevue Rotary welcome to Kateesha Atterberry. Come on up. I think that's the clicker, and if it doesn't work, just yell at Jeffrey back there. Thank you.
Wow. When you hear it, it touches nerves. Good afternoon. Excuse me while I collect myself, but thank you for welcoming me into your space today. Thank you, Adam, for the conversations, the encouragement, and the invitation, and thank you all for taking time out of your day to be here. In 2018, I launched a lifelong vision for a world-class Black-led real estate development firm that would build the future. Urban Black develops innovative, sustainable, and culturally specific land projects that transform neighborhoods and promotes economic value within diverse communities. Service is not something you do. It's something you are. Next slide. Our leadership team consists of 6 highly skilled professionals in the areas of real estate management, development, finance and investments, engineering, construction, sales and marketing, and public policy. We are Black excellence. Our team consists of, starting with Ignatius Deshabert, our Senior Development Manager, HBCU Howard University graduate, and formerly trained in civil engineering. Elizabeth L. Carter, Esquire, Investments, SEC attorney. Darnell Ford, Development Manager, graduate with a Bachelor of Science in Construction Management from the University of Washington, certified commercial appraiser. Former project engineer at Selin Construction, now an Urban Black go-getter. Damon Rudisil, graduate from the University of Washington in Business Administration, as well as their Sales and Marketing and Entrepreneurship program, Commercial Sales and Leasing. Angela Nedkov, 25 years in retail sales and customer service with a passion for connecting people, executive support and property management. A hand-picked world-class team. Next slide. These projects illustrate our past projects. Pike Place Market, The market's chartered by the city of Seattle and is home to a diverse ethnic community that offers culturally specific goods and services. My role here was our senior commercial manager and capital project manager. I was also there during the $68.2 million redevelopment and the early conceptual planning and design for the now waterfront project that you see and enjoy today. The redevelopment came after talks and discussions on what would happen at the waterfront of Seattle should we have an earthquake. And light bulbs went off. The buildings were historic, 100-year-old buildings that weren't earthquake retrofitted. Someone had the bright idea that we should do something about it. So we commenced the project, launched a city levy, and funded it. And the rest is history. I pride myself on this project because I was one of very few people that lasted through the project. I completed it from the beginning to the end, and I'm very proud. I was successful for three main reasons. Number one, I was one of only 3 Black senior managers, and I had influence in decision-making that directly affected the community in terms of real estate negotiations, planning and design, and the allocation of public monies that would be a risk mitigation to the impacts of construction. Not every business in the market made it. Many of them was displaced, many of them shut down, many of them struggled to survive. But the community trusted me. I was one of them. And trust is what builds relationships and allows goals and objectives to be met in an equitable way. Number 3, I was smart. I have a unique background that gifts me with vision, creativity, and resilience. A next project that's recent that made headlines was our Liberty Bank building project, a groundbreaking project that was modeled after the urban village strategy. Rested in the historically Black neighborhood of the Central District, the plan was what would we do on a site that was the location of the first Black bank in the Pacific Northwest. Then sold to Key Bank, but was supposed to be transferred back to the community, but it wasn't. Through the discussions with the owner at the time, there was a realization that the project and the site needed to be developed with an approach with the community in mind, an urban village strategy, if you will. But the urban village strategy is the Pike Place market strategy, a holistic strategy and approach to real estate development that incorporates all things that creates a thriving community for people. Housing, economic development by way of jobs and economic activity, civic facilities, cultural spaces, all things that we all enjoy, and places that we want to be to live, work, and play. Liberty Bank is also home to the most recent voted top 10 restaurants in the world, Communion, where I was negotiator for their commercial lease, as well as strategic policy and planning advisor through a community partner. Next slide. And to now, the project that everyone's talking about, Acer House, the first truly anti-racist private sector development. Well, here's your question. What makes it anti-racist? I'm glad you asked. Maximum affordability. We are performing according to MHA and housing affordability measures in the neighborhood. However, we all know the cost of affordability in housing continues to rise. So we designed the project that'll allow for residential units that are efficient, and as a result, creates affordability for one like myself, a young professional, to be able to live in the city without breaking the bank. Number 2, zero displacement. Currently, the site holds 5 Black businesses that will end up being relocated during construction. We have a commitment to ensure a smooth relocation process and also an opportunity for them to return by way of a groundbreaking real estate model to where we create ownership opportunities and affordable financing through a local community development financial institution, a Black bank, if you will, to allow them the flexibility in achieving financing to secure ownership in their space. Anti-racist business. Our guiding corporate policy is to ensure that a woman and/or minority-owned firm makes it to the final procurement round and selection of all of our major contracts. We don't need to be the one holding the flag. We need to be the engineer. We need to be the architect. We need to be the owner. We need to be the developer. Afrofuturism design and inspiration. Our design lead, Donald King, is a 40-year iconic urban planner and architect from the Pacific Northwest. He is our lead design. We are designing it in the spirit of Afrofuturism as a model for those to envision what the future looks like for us. Local wealth creation. Historically, as you all know in this room, access to capital and commercial real estate development is a white male-dominated industry. Opportunities to engage in investment have historically been locked out to people that look like me. Now we're creating a mechanism to where people and investors that look like me can participate in projects that yield healthy returns. That is how you build Black wealth. Social, economic, environmental design, SEED designation. You look around and you see LEED, platinum LEED, green LEED, if that's even a designation, but you get the point. A recent designation, SEED, that puts a microscope on projects that advance social, economic, and environmental initiatives. Our project was recently recognized in the 2021 Built Green Conference, and where we presented Acer House and our project guidelines and objectives, and it was highlighted as such. Next slide, please. Our upcoming projects. Each of our projects begins with a story, as you heard from Adam. The who and the what is what we start with. The African Business Innovation Center is inspired by the 30-year work of the African Chamber of Commerce of the Pacific Northwest, forged out of the WTO riots in Seattle, and commissioned to promote foreign direct trade between Africa and the Pacific Northwest. We are building an innovation center and a trade center to honor the work and foster trade between some of the fastest growing economies in the world, which are in Africa, according to the World Bank, and the Pacific Northwest, which is a leader, or should be a leader, in trade. Goodwill Missionary Baptist Church, a master plan community that is repurposing their properties to address health, wellness, and spiritual needs of the community, with the understanding that in order to take care of people in the community, the approach must be holistic. Taze Plaza, a part of Urban Black's signature legacy program. It's a program that allows a 90-year Black family legacy to retain their investment and create wealth in perpetuity by not just being the owners of the property, but then being an investor in the future project. Next slide, please. So as you see, this is who we are, and this is what we do. We build communities, and we build the future. Our team is ready. But I'm here to tell you that in order for us to achieve our goals and be successful, we need to work together. So Bellevue Rotary, I pose you a question. I see the charge ahead. I see what you post on your website when you talk about equitable development and your approach. In fact, let me read it. Bellevue Rotary's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion unequivocally embraces Rotary's intolerance for racism. We believe in promoting respect, celebrating diversity, demanding ethical leadership, and working tirelessly to advocate peace as central tenets of our work. We recognize that we have more work to do, to create a more just, open, and welcoming club for all people. We acknowledge and support Black humanity and its value. We acknowledge the sadness, anger, mental and emotional exhaustion, and trauma that our African American members and other people of color continue to experience. The Bellevue Rotary Club understands its responsibility towards truth, equity, social justice, and will work with all of our members to dismantle any and all forms of systemic racism within our club. Those are your words. And I want to offer you an opportunity to do just that by first telling you that I need your help. So, Bellevue Rotary, what would you like to do? Do you want to help the community? You want to build wealth, provide education to underserved, create jobs? I pose an opportunity that might be of interest to you. An opportunity to get behind us, to work together and achieve the dream that Dr. Martin Luther King spoke of many decades ago that is still true today. Now I'm going to share a secret with you and keep it in Bellevue. Although I grew up in Seattle, I'm quite tired of Seattle, to be frank. I've had a conversation with the future mayor and I said, Mayor Bruce Harrell, I'm on the clock because Seattle, although it's my home, it makes it very difficult to do my job. There's a lot of talking, but not a whole lot of action. And so someone asked me, well, what do you think about the East Side? And I said, well, I haven't much. But if there's an opportunity to work, I'm open to it. So here's an opportunity that might interest you. The old Sound Ford site in Renton, which according to a lot of folks is considered the East Side. We want the project, we want to go after it, but we need help. We need your contacts, your support, and access to your financial resources. I need funding of our annual operational budget. I need site acquisition, pre-development, and investment capital. I need somebody to call Mackenzie Scott Bezos. I need somebody to call Melinda. I need somebody to arrange a meeting with Kemper Freeman. Call your friend at Microsoft and tell them to get behind us financially. We are local and homegrown. There's no excuse. We also happen to be a registered 501c3. I invite you to make a contribution. Write it off. This is an opportunity to move the needle and create the impact we all talk about. But at the same time, we're an extraordinary opportunity. But we can't do it alone. This is who we are. This is what we do. Next slide, please. So Bellevue Rotary, tell me who I need to talk to. Who can help me set up the meeting? We're fighting the good fight, but I want to fight together. There's a constant struggle for us to keep moving forward, and that is money. Someone says, what does it mean to build black wealth? And I told Adam, it's simple. You have money and I don't. It really is that simple. So, please, I need your help. Feel free to contact me. We can do this together. Thank you.
I want to thank you for a very timely, thoughtful presentation. I'm glad that you gave a challenge to the Rotary Club. And as co-chair of the DEI committee, the first commitment I'm going to make tonight is my wife and I will make a $1,000 contribution to your 501(c)(3) and I'll be in contact with you to see how you do it. So that's one. I hope other Bellevue Rotary Club members and members in District 5030 Rotary members would be willing to do that. That's number one.
Thank you.
Number two, you had a long list of things, and my answer is yes, yes, yes. I gave you my card. I want to get your card. Let's find a time after this meeting where we can map out the details to see what's possible moving forward. A lot of the things that you said are viable. I personally want to be part of that. I can tell you, I can't speak for every individual member of the Bellevue Rotary Club DEI committee, but I can tell you there'll be several involved. I don't want to speak for our past district governor, Kathy Gibson, who is here, but she deliberately wanted to be here in person to hear you. So I will take the commitment to take it back and discuss it with the District 5030 committee. Whether you decide to stay in Seattle or do something on the east side, Bellevue Rotary Club is throughout the whole region. So no matter where you'll be, we have to find a way to connect with you. So I accept the challenge on behalf of this club, and let's move forward together.
A little bit of that was my resentment talking about Seattle, but you all know it's not a secret. Seattle can be wonky. So I don't want to go anywhere, but I do feel like there's an opportunity to look up and around. And for so long, I've had my head down there. And so now I'm looking around.
One of the things I want to say, it's a pleasure to see you here today. And I came particularly to see you also.
Thank you.
On the Liberty Bank project, I had the pleasure of being the WIMBY manager, Women Minority Business Enterprise Manager. So what developers do, not only all that you've said, those opportunities that you provide. We had over 33% minority participation on that project, of which 19% were African American contractors. That's the kind of leverage that you have. I commend you, and I really like the way you turned it around. You're not just talking, you're asking, and we can deliver.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think it looks like three people here are dominating the questions. But I have one key question. I think the rest of the people here or individuals will like to know. Do you have a ballpark figure as to what you're looking for dollar-wise?
Absolutely. Email me. I have all the information ready.
So, Kateesha, I just want to know a little longer term. What's your strategy, or what are your long-term goals for Urban Black?
It's a great question, Adam. Thank you. Well, as you all know, these projects don't happen overnight. They take time to get to the point that we've got them to. They're multi-year projects, and some of our projects can be upwards of 5 to 7 years, if not 8 plus. So I'm going to be around. We do have a long-term strategy. It's an international strategy. I don't want to scare anyone. Not that I would do that, but in my mind, this work is about improving communities and economic development in underserved areas, and that isn't limited to the Pacific Northwest.
All right, Kateesha, thank you very much. Before you completely disappear, I want to let you know that as a gesture of appreciation for your talk today, we've donated 3/4 of a ton of food in your name to Harvest Against Hunger, which will provide fresh produce to local food banks. We also have a coffee mug with our Inspiration Playground logo on it, which hopefully you'll think about our club when you have your coffee. So thank you again for a really eye-opening and inspiring presentation.